Oh, what can I say about the final episode of Doctor Who Flux other than I was right, it is very anticlimactic at the end. So, yeah, spoilers ahead. So there's your warning for that. And yeah, I will say this episode was better than last week's episode because it was a bit more coherent. There was that skill problem of they keep switching between things, but at least this time they did, actually join together at least somewhat in the end. I think the biggest problem with Flux in general, like as a series, there are far too many characters and there are far too many things happening. And it was just left, far too late to resolve it in any satisfactory way. I mean, our two main villains here throughout the series, they don't really do much. And they're defeated far too easily. They are just defeated far too easily, and it just kind of happens, and a lot of stuff isn't really explained. It just feels like it's literally just rushing through everything, and everything just seems to be rather convenient. Like in this episode, the Doctor needs to be in several places at once, so through contrived means, it's like, yeah, there's three doctors to help out at the same time. They need something to stop the flux. And since the flux is revealed to be antimatter, they feed it with matter. And also, the Sontarans are punching far too above their weight. And also, it's making the Daleks and Cybermen look even stupider than ever. Like, the Sontarans are able to trick both the Daleks and the Cybermen into an alliance where they're just going to basically use the Daleks and the Cybermen to basically eat up the Flux. Why does every single Dalek ship and every single cyber ship converge to this alliance? And like seriously, like why do they believe the Sontarans? And how come the Daleks, cannot tell us, especially the Daleks. Especially the Daleks. Like the Daleks shouldn't be sending every single Dalek. It's the same problem that was in Revolution of the Daleks. It was the same problem in that in Resolution of the Daleks, where every single Dalek followed the Doctor into that TARDIS to get crushed. It's the same thing here. It's making the Daleks look thick as fuck. Like, they won't send every single ship to that one location. They'd maybe send a few to, maybe set up the alliance, but they won't immediately send every single ship on just the word of, the Sontarans. Just, no. I honestly don't know. Why? Why? And also, we get a lot of stuff that happens that is just told to us in a load of exposition. That is the biggest problem. There is tons of exposition. Nearly every single scene in this is just a ton of exposition. For example, all of Dogmang's, peoples, yeah, they're all killed off screen. They're all killed off screen, yeah. Which is, it should be, a horrific thing. But like you don't really care because you're just told about it. And it's just like, okay. I mean that's bad, I guess, but even so, I mean the flux is supposed to be like the thing is they didn't do quite the thing that I thought they were going to do and do the reverse thing. So there's all this damage, to all these planets that are destroyed and everything. But yeah, it's all over. Everything's fine, hunky dory, back to normal. It's it's only just like, did people forget? Did Chris Chibnall forget all that damage of literally, most of the universe is destroyed? Like, wasn't that the whole point of this? Like, most of the universe is destroyed. Just because you stopped the final flux doesn't mean suddenly everything is all, back to normal, happy, hunky dory. That's not how that worked. But that's the way the episode seems to be playing it out as. It's just really odd. Quite frankly, it's just really odd. I mean, it's just, it's not, I wouldn't, call this episode as bad as the other episode, as the previous episode, or episodes 3 and 1. It's better than those. But the problem is, for example, it just seems to be wasting so much time. Like, there's like an almost 10-minute sort of epilogue kind of thing at the end. And it just feels like, no. Like, this feels like it's kind of wasting time. And because of spending so long just kind of meandering about and having basically so much pointless filler throughout, it just feels like everything just came crashing in at the end and just like, oh, everything is resolved now because it is. Like, I really don't get on why you have the Sontarans and the not the Song, well, on why you have the Daleks and the Cybermen even in this. They get like one brief scene, which, particularly the Dalek scene, felt like it was probably filmed in advance. Just seeing, it looks very much like it might have been pre-filmed in resolution of the Daleks, but we'll see. Or maybe in the next story, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, why bother bringing them into this if you're not going to do anything with them? Like, you just have them there as just like, hey, that is a recognisable thing. That's a recognisable monster from Doctor Who. That's there. That's basically the point of them. And Kate Stewart, you brought Kate Stewart back, and again, she doesn't get to do anything. Like, other than exposition of she is the leader of the resistance, blah blah blah. But that's basically all we get from her. And also the very cringy line of oh, I like this incarnation, Doctor. And also the other line from the villains earlier of basically circle jerking the Doctor, going, oh, you're the most important thing, Doctor. You are the the line that you are the universe, Doctor. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we stop doing this? Like, when RTD takes over, can we stop doing the Doctor is the most important thing of the history of anything? Because this is getting really shit. And also, if the Doctor is, if you elevate the Doctor to such a level, then surely why is it even a challenge for the Doctor to basically stop the bad guys anymore? If you keep upping the Doctor and elevating the Doctor to basically, to be the ultimate thing in the universe and to be the definitive thing that can stop anything, it just kind of diminishes, the fact that, oh, why should we care that the Doctor, is struggling here? We know the Doctor's going to win. I mean, we know the Doctor's going to win anyway. But it's just like, it kind of defeats the stakes and the purposes and the fob watch kind of thing. Like, okay, so it turns out that shot that looks like it's Doctor Who but cabin in the woods. Turns out in that cabin house thing are all the Doctor's other lives. And it's just like, that's not exactly how the fob watchers worked before. It literally just contained, memories and that, and it's just odd. And like, the thing is, why doesn't the Doctor just open it? Like, it's revealed that the whole reason, the Doctor midway through the adventure was chasing after Carvanisa was basically to try and get memories back. And then literally when she has the pocket watch in her hand, she doesn't decide to open it. And I know what people are going to say. Oh, she decides that she'd rather not know. But literally just like, you do all of this and you get up to this point and you don't. It just feels like a pointless thing that is just added. It's just like, okay, here's another thing. And it's just too much to just handling. It just lacks its focus again. Unfortunately, that is the Flux's definitive problem. Is it's got too many characters, too many things happening, and lacks any focus or cohesion throughout. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that regard. My overall thoughts as Doctor Who Flux: it's a mess. It is an utter mess. Like, I mean, I'll give it this. At least it was shorter. At least it was shorter. But yeah, it was just a complete and utter mess. I'll give it this though. It gave me more to talk about. It gave me more to talk about for once, because a lot of the time with Criminal episodes, a lot of the time they're boring. So at least this time it's just like, since it threw so many things in, at least it did that. Okay. Although it was boring in places, so it still managed to do that. So I'll give it that those remarks. In terms of the New Year's special, it seems Chris Criminal's doing it again, and we get the Daleks again. And the Daleks have a new gun attachment. Okay. I really miss Dalek plungers. Really miss Dalek plungers. Also, we'll talk about that when we get to ESK. But yeah, Doctor Who Flux. Like, to be honest, like I can give it. I can basically say, like, if you enjoy the Jodie Whittaker era, or the Jodie Whittaker / Chris Criminal era, you'll probably enjoy this. If you haven't liked it up until this point, you're not gonna like this. I mean, it's just a bewildering watch of just like how, why. So you can watch it in that regard of just utter, confusion on decisions on why this is happening, and just like, this doesn't make sense, and this is contradicting this, and this is wasting time and on that. So I guess you could say that on it. But yeah, that's all. That's it. Done. I've had enough of talking about Flux. So yeah, thanks for watching.